So the three of us were employed at the same place, and we were tasked to go diving to find something specific.
I already picture all of us with hats.
We had scuba gear.
Okay, never mind. We're not working fast food. The devil is not a part-timer.
We were trying to find a tanker, like, storage unit that had gone off of a ship with some, like, sentimental things that this person was having shipped. And the person was paying, like, a fuck ton of money. We were like, hands on deck. We are going. We are getting this cash. And we set out. It was fine. We're just doing fuck all else. We're getting out. We're, like, establishing, okay, this is where it went down. This is where we're supposed to be. Let's set up our buoy lines. These buoys with, like, a rope between them. And then the rope has, like, bells and stuff on it. I don't know where the fuck I got that. I don't know if that's something people actually do.
Couldn't tell you.
But it's supposed to be, like, visible underwater, so they're bright colors. And they make a lot of noise. So yeah, at first we're just fucking around. Water is beautiful, sun is shining, but we're not finding shit. And it's, like, super deep.
No wonder we're not finding shit.
But we have full scuba gear, so we're, like, diving down, looking, and not finding anything.
Her, like, mid-Sprite gulp. No wonder we're not finding.
Mid-Sprite gulp, mid-carbonation burp at the same time.
She's mad at this dream.
We stay there fucking all day, determined to make this cash. Like, we were like, we are getting paid for this. The longer we stay, the more we get paid. We'll keep looking until we find it. And then it got dark. And do you remember being on the cruise? When you're in the middle of the ocean, it gets dark.
It's like you are just in the void.
It's fucking abyssal. It quickly turned into, like, a horrifying claustrophobic nightmare. Like, the sun sets while we're underwater and we can't find our boat or our buoy lines. So we're just underwater. Our tanks start to get low on oxygen. And when we finally do find our way back to the surface, we can't find our boat because we've strayed so far in the dark from it. It's just fucking gone. And we're just stuck in the middle of the fucking ocean.
So we had a nightmare.
Yeah. Chen quietly freaks the fuck out, but, like, can see it on her face. Just has gone pale, isn't speaking, just kind of quivering lip, twitching eyes, freaking the fuck out silently. Picture of Chen freaking out is kind of, like, ingrained in my brain because it happens worse later.
In my brain, when you said that, I just want you to know, like, I had a zoom-in picture of Chen. Of, like, it constantly got close to her face.
Yeah.
And
she was feeling the pressure. Chen said, oh fuck, we're dying right now. And we all go back down. Like, we all decide, like, hey, maybe if we look down on the bottom of the, like, ocean floor, we can find, like, familiar landmarks, and we can use them to retrace our steps and get back to our boat. But apparently, our lucky fucking star shines above us because we find the thing that we had been looking for the whole time.
Oh.
The client's paying a lot of money for it. We decided, yeah, we can at least check it out. And so the really sentimental thing they were looking for was a cat carrier with, like, this gorgeous, like, gold jewel-encrusted food dish in it. And we were supposed to get the food dish back, but we were like, fuck it, we're not opening this bitch, we'll just take the whole carrier.
Interesting.
And so we go into this fucking storage unit, and most of the stuff is spilled out, but, like, that is there. But the storage unit is set up more like an office. Like, they were just transporting their whole ass office from one place to another. And so there's a desk in the middle, and Chen just sits in it and quietly freaks out. Like, we're gonna die.
That's fair. I do think I would do that.
Yep. Now we're trying to figure out how to get this fucking cat carrier back to the surface in pitch black. We're all terrified for the worst. Ruby and I go out and leave the carrier specifically with Chen to see if we can find our lines. But we accidentally ended up going down instead of up. Because it's all pitch black. But there was, like, a drop-off just beyond the storage bin, so we went down into that. But we did manage to, like, correct ourselves when we found the bottom, because what did we find at the bottom? Our fucking boat. So we find the boat, and we're, like, feeling around on it like it's the fucking invisible boatmobile, and we have to find the on switch. And one of us finds the on switch, the other one finds flashlights. So we're using flashlights now to look around, and we find out that we had switched it off, and it had gone into, like, power save mode, and it had just, like, taken on a bunch of water and just slowly sank. And so it has this really neat fucking feature that when you turn it on, pontoons expand and it rises. And we have our flashlights. Ruby goes up with the boat. And I go back to Chen, who's still in this fucking storage unit, and I have the flashlight now. Chen is just staring, sat, frozen, and I tell her we're getting out. Like, we're gonna be safe. We're going home. It's gonna be fine. I can't, like, speak all that well, so I have to take, like, the hose out of my mouth to do it. And Chen, at that point, just decides, fuck it. Like, she just spits hers out, and she's like, we're gonna die here. At least don't lie to me and say you're coming back after you take this fucking cat carrier to the surface. And then she just doesn't put the hose back in her mouth. She's like, doesn't matter. Tank's almost out of air anyways. And we have, like, the bubble, like, helmets on. So, like, it's just filling into her helmet. And so I swim up as fast as I can, throwing the fucking, like, cat carrier. Because, like, I swim upwards and just happen to find our buoy lines. And then I see the boat. And so I just throw this fucking cat carrier onto the boat. Ruby comes over and she, like, paddles, like, with a hand and is like, are you good? Like, are you gonna go back down? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go back down for Chen. And she's like, do you want me to, like, turn on the underside of the boat's lights? And I'm like in fucking black water, feeling things bump against me. I'm like, nah, if you turn shit on and I see shit, I'm losing my nerve. I'm going back. I dive back down, and when I hit the ground, I decide to turn on my light, and I find my way back to the storage unit, and Chen is completely unresponsive. But luckily, you've always been like feather fucking light, and you're in water, so it's just real easy to toss you over my shoulder like a bag of potatoes.
I'm 100 pounds soaking wet.
I paddle back up to the surface, and we take your mask off, and we're like afraid you're dead. And so Ruby's like leaning down, trying to feel if you're breathing, and you're just staring, like looks fucking dead. And it turns out, no, you're just doing that thing where you just don't breathe a lot anyways.
It's true. I don't breathe a lot.
She's staring unresponsive up, and you go to like push on her chest, and she's like, "Stop, please, it hurts." Before you even touched her.
It's true. Just the thought of somebody doing CPR on me is like, oh, that's gonna hurt.
But she's not moving, so we're like, okay, this is some weird, like, when you electrocute a dead frog and, like, the muscles twitch. Like, this is that somehow. As we're trying to get you back to responsive, a cat crawls up onto your chest, and you immediately, like, you just start petting the cat, and everything is fine. And I'm like, where the fuck did this cat come from in the middle of the goddamn ocean? Ruby just, like, shrugs and is like, there must have been an air pocket in the cat carrier, because once we got up here, she started thrashing around trying to get the fuck out.
Whoa.
We go back home, and that's not where the dream ends. That was the part I wanted to tell you guys about. Like, it ended with me having to go pick up my kids from daycare. 24 hours late.
I've always wondered who you were in King of the Hill, but it is Dale.
I told you, pocket sand, hush.
Like, all of that was some U.S. government bullshit.
I've got more dreams.
That was wild.
I
that
feel
was
like
very
that is a
accurate.
fair assessment to how I would respond.
Just start freaking the fuck out. Fucking
Dissociating a bit.
Not
breathing.
Just being a cat. I'm glad that we stayed in character for your dream.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Let's hear it.
Alright, so I can only assume that I dreamed about this because you told me about Adam's woes. I had a dream that Adam and I were trapped on an island, Maui's Island, where Moana went to go find Maui. And I had to teach him how to make a fire in the middle of the island. And as soon as he learned how to do it, a tsunami came and killed us.
Oh my god.
And then my dream panned to being at Barb's house, and there was a man trying to pick me up who claimed to be my dad. And he looked like my dad, but he was definitely not my dad because he was like looking at me crazy. I mean, that's not the only reason he was not my dad, but he definitely wasn't my dad. So you were trying to make a fat joke about yourself, so you sat a chair in front of the door and sat down, and you were like, you definitely can't get in now because you self-degrade a lot. And then Barb tried to give him puzzles to make him go away.
At least I stayed in character. Barb forgot what she was doing in her head.
She tried to offer him puzzles.
Oh
It's like, hey, we know you're here looking for Ruby, but how about you take these puzzles instead and just leave?
Yeah.
Miss Barbara would not part with her puzzles.
You know, fair.
So I remembered bits and pieces of a dream I had like years ago.
Go for it.
I write a lot of stories.
Yep.
And I was in the process of writing a story. Like, I had just started writing it. But I had a boyfriend.
Wait a minute.
Wild shit, right? Me? A boyfriend? No, I had a boyfriend. But this boyfriend was a YouTube speedrunner. Like, did speedrunning content on YouTube. And, I was writing. I was off camera while he was doing his speed run of, like, whatever he was doing. I think it was a Pokemon game. You know, I play a lot of Pokemon. But I'm off camera. And I'm like, hey, will you proofread this for me while he's on stream? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, babe. And he just, like, stops his speed run and just looks at my laptop scrolling through. But I've been writing smut.
What a lad.
So he's just like, pointing things out and like read something out loud and was like, I'm not sure I would have phrased it that way. How about this? But he's on stream. He's live.
Jesus.
YouTube speedrunner proofread my smut story.
Out loud, on stream.
Out loud on stream, and I wasn't embarrassed at all.
You know what? Grade A husband
No.
material.
Right?
I was just sitting there just like I took the critiques in the cool. But then like, instead of leaving the stream or getting off camera, I just sat in his lab with my laptop and just fixed the problems while he went back to speedrunning.
Couple goals, honestly.
Couple goals. That was years ago. That hit me like a memory.
So yeah, fucking